Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. We've got a lot to cover today, from new board games hitting the shelves to some major shakeups in the digital gaming world. Oh, and a certain presidential initiative you might have heard about that's got everyone buzzing about the future of AI.
Sounds like it's going to be a busy one.
It definitely is. So, to kick things off, have you heard about what Ravensburger's been up to? You know, the company behind all those classic board games like Labyrinth?
Yeah, I remember those. Spent many a rainy afternoon with those. What are they up to now?
Well, they're banking on the bad guys.
Big I saw.
They're releasing a brand new board game called Unstoppable, where you get to play as iconic Disney villains.
No way, that's amazing. Which villains?
Think Hades, Maleficent.
Ooh, classic choices.
And the best part, they're planning tournaments and even a Star Wars villain edition.
A Star Wars edition, so I could be playing as Darth Vader, trying to take over the galaxy from my kitchen table.
Exactly. Pretty cool, right?
That's awesome. Though it is kind of funny, right? Board games making a comeback in this digital age.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It makes you wonder, are people starting to crave something more tangible? You know, that face-to-face connection you don't always get in the digital world. What do you think?
I think there's definitely something to that. We're constantly bombarded with screens and virtual experiences. Maybe people are looking for a way to unplug, reconnect with friends and family in a more hands-on social way. And let's be honest, there's something satisfying about rolling those dice, moving your pieces across the board.
And maybe even getting a little competitive.
Uh-huh. Exactly. A little healthy competition never hurt anyone. Plus, Ravensburger's definitely tapping into a powerful wave of nostalgia, especially with those Disney and Star Wars themes.
Oh, for sure. Nostalgia is a big deal these days. But speaking of powerful forces, let's talk about PlayStation. And this news might not be as cheerful.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
PlayStation just axed two major projects, both live service games, including one that was supposed to be set in the God of War universe.
Yeah.
And there's also a Horizon MMO that got scrapped because of problems with the developer.
Ouch, that's got to be a blow for some fans, especially that God of War project. That sounds like it had huge potential.
It did. And this all kind of raises a question, right? Are live service games, you know, the ones that rely on those constant updates and in-game purchases, are those starting to fizzle out a little?
Hmm. It's interesting, isn't it? Because on the one hand, they've been huge EE for years, but we have seen a few high-profile cancellations recently.
Yeah, exactly. So why do you think that is?
I think it comes down to a few things. Live service games are incredibly demanding to create and maintain. Think about it. You need a constant stream of content, people to manage the community, and you've got to keep that balance between keeping players engaged but not feeling pressured to spend money.
It's a tough line to walk.
Definitely. And if you don't get it right, if the game doesn't click with people or the updates are weak, it can become a really expensive mistake.
And on the gamer side, maybe there's some fatigue setting in too.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you mentioned that craving for a more tangible, connected experience that board games offer, and that's something that live service games, even with their online communities, don't always nail.
I get it. It's not always the same, is it?
Exactly. It's a complex situation with a ton of factors, but I think it's a trend worth keeping an eye on for sure.
Absolutely. But while we're on the subject of gaming, let's switch gears over to esports for a moment. Have you been following the League of Legends EMEA Championship?
I haven't been keeping up as closely as I'd like. What's happening?
Well, there's a team called Giant TX that's absolutely crushing it.
Crushing it.
They're undefeated, just dominating the whole scene. For anyone who needs a refresher, the EMEA Championship covers Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. So that's a huge chunk of the esports world.
Wow, that's impressive.
I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on them to see if they can keep this streak going.
Yeah, me too. I think their success really showcases just how ridiculously competitive the esports scene has gotten. These players have insane skills, they're incredibly dedicated, and the strategy involved. It's mind-blowing, like watching a chess match on hyperdrive.
Absolutely. Okay, ready to zoom out a bit. Let's talk about something that could have a massive impact on the entire tech world. Have you heard about the Stargate AI initiative?
Oh yeah, the one President Trump announced.
That's the one. He's pledging a ridiculous amount of money, $500 billion to be exact, to speed up AI development here in the U.S.
I remember seeing that headline, 500 billion. It's
Um,
almost hard to even grasp.
I know, right? And he's talking about partnering up with big names like OpenAI, SoftBank, Oracle. And needless to say, the stock market's been going a little crazy since the announcement, especially companies like Oracle and NVIDIA, who are likely to get a big piece of that funding pie.
Makes sense, that kind of investment. It's a pretty clear signal that the U.S. is serious about AI. It's almost like they see it as the next space race, a
Okay.
battle for technological dominance on a global scale.
I see what you mean. So what do you think this means for the future?
Well, for one thing, we could see AI advancements happening at warp speed. And think about the potential applications: healthcare, transportation, finance, even gaming.
You're right, gaming. We were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Could we see AI integrated into games on a whole new level?
Yeah.
Like imagine playing against opponents that feel completely human. That could change everything.
Absolutely. Imagine AI that learns your playstyle and adapts to challenge you, crafts these dynamic storylines within the game.
Yeah. It would be like playing with or against another person, but with the creativity and unpredictability that AI can bring. That's pretty exciting.
It really is. The possibilities are almost endless.
Okay, but before we get too lost in the future, let's talk about some deals happening right now. In case anyone's feeling the urge to upgrade their tech without emptying their bank account.
Sounds good to me. Always on the lookout for a good deal.
Well, you're in luck. Amazon's having a huge sale. You can snag the 2024 MacBook Air with that new M3 chip. Have you heard about this chip?
I've seen some headlines, but I haven't had a chance to really dig into it. What's the big deal?
Well, it's way faster, but also sips power like nobody's business. So, smoother performance, A&D, longer battery life, win-win right.
Definitely. And that's all on sale now.
Yep, along with a bunch of other stuff. Oh, and if your New Year's resolution was to cook more, well, the Instant Pot Duo is on sale too. Perfect timing, right?
Speaking of perfect timing, don't these huge sales kind of make you wonder, is this just Amazon being generous or is there more to it?
What do you mean?
Well, the tech market's getting pretty fierce, right? All these companies are fighting for our attention, our money. Maybe these deep discounts are their way of staying ahead of the curve.
Hmm, that's an interesting thought. I hadn't looked at it that way.
Yeah, it makes you think, doesn't it?
Definitely. Oh, and gamers, one more deal you won't want to miss, the Razer Huntsman V2 TKL keyboard. It's under $90 now.
Wow, seriously. That's a steal. I've heard great things about that keyboard. Isn't it known for having, like, the fastest response times?
Yeah, it's like lightning fast, which is perfect for, all those intense gaming moments. It's crazy how much gaming technology has evolved,
I
right?
mean, yeah, it is. Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Competitive gaming, it's all about those split-second decisions, that lightning-fast reaction time. The tech needs to keep up.
Absolutely. Okay, so, wow, we covered a lot today.
Yeah.
From the resurgence of board games to the mind-blowing potential of AI and, of course, those tempting tech deals, it's clear the world of gaming and tech, it never stands still.
Yeah.
What do you think was the most interesting thing we talked about today?
Honestly, for me, it's got to be that Stargate initiative. The amount of money being thrown at AI, the potential impact it could have, is a bit overwhelming, but also incredibly exciting. It really feels like we're on the cusp of something big.
I totally agree. It makes you wonder, with AI becoming so advanced, how is it going to change things? Our entertainment, our work, even just our day-to-day lives? It's a huge question, and it's something worth thinking about as we head into this new era of technology.
Definitely food for thought.
Well said. Thanks for diving in with me today, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
See you then.